The Mastering Local Marketing podcast helps local small business owners like you understand what it takes to successfully market your business and drive new customers through your doors. We provide actionable insights, interview leading experts and business owners in various industries, as well as provide tips and tricks we've uncovered over the last 25 years in the field. Whether you're starting your business or you've been at it for decades, let us provide you with the education and resources you need to grow your customer base. It's time to start mastering your local marketing. Here's your host, Matt Hansen.
We have already done 46 of these. Is that right?
Yeah.
This is episode number 47, ways to upgrade your average order. I mean, I took the MBA courses over here at PNW. There's a couple ways to make more money, and that is to get more money out of your existing customers or find new customers.
Right.
That's really the best two ways. So let's concentrate on the first one there. Ways to get more money, or basically maybe higher orders, more money per order. When I say that, I mean, what's like the first thing that comes to your mind?
First thing that comes to my mind is that most businesses won't
turn your mic up just slightly up to your face.
Won't track it, right?
They won't track it. No.
They won't know. They won't know what the average order is. They won't know the number of customers that they talk to on a daily basis, and they won't know the number of orders that came in, right? That's what it comes down to. So what I tell everyone is track those three things, right? Number of people that walk in the door, number of people that call you, right? Depending upon the type of business that you have. Number of orders that you have every single day. And today we're talking about how to increase that average order value, right? So if your average order value is $50, it's $10, it's $1,000, whatever it may be, how do you get a few more dollars out of each one of those transactions? And we're going to kind of cover those today. Most people don't give it a thought, right? They don't think about the science behind it or the fact that there's an ask. I just got back from New Orleans, like I was saying in the last podcast, and as you walk through New Orleans and you walk down Bourbon Street and you walk down all these places, people are trying to get you in the doors, right? They're trying to get you to walk through the doors. So they're focused on driving the amount of people that walk through each one of those doors. Again, three metrics: number of people that walk in the door, average order value, and how many orders you get every single day. So let's talk about average order value.
Now, one of the things, I mean, obviously you want higher average order value, AOV, and we know that you're most likely a small to mid-sized business owner, or you work at one, so we won't get too wonky on it. But AOV and bundling go together.
Yeah, we've talked about bundling in the past, and if somebody's buying something in your store, that's great, right? We all love to sell things, but there are multiple ways that you can bundle different products together, right? So whether it's a coffee and a donut or a coffee and a pastry. Again, I just was down in New Orleans, went to Café Du Monde, and they have the coffee.
Commander? Did you go to Commander?
I did not.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have enough time, but it's the the pastries and the coffee kind of go together, and you can buy those as a bundle, right? So you mentioned HVAC, right? You mentioned HVAC a lot, right? So if we're selling an AC unit or a full furnace AC unit combo, can you bundle service for a year on top of that for an extra, $49, an extra $89 for the year, right? So that's a little bit more that you can add to it, but you basically say for the next year, I'm going to help you take care of it, or I'm going to sign you up for our membership program that applies all these different perks, but it's still that bundling process of putting together the first install plus some kind of service that you can that they can utilize through the years. If you don't ask, you're not going to get any more, right? You install, you leave, you're never, maybe they don't call you back the next time something goes wrong. But I know a lot of HVAC people that are out there, this is what they do, right? They sell the service or sell the product, and then they implement some kind of service as a add-on. So bundling those two things together is a good idea, and you can kind of figure that out in each different market, but these are just really two quick examples that.
Well, I'll give you an example. In our market, as Adriana is the beginner, or she's at the beginning of this podcast network where you're listening to Mastering Local Marketing, and we also have a high school streaming sports company, And then we have radio stations. So they're kind of related, but not entirely related. So there are times when we will sell sports on TV and then, hey, you know what? For another $5,000, you can get my show in the morning and you can get on news on the radio. And then another $2,000 you could get on some of these podcasts.
Right.
And so we're finding that when we bundle at least two or two out of the three together, our average order value is way higher.
Yeah, it looks like a deal. Right?
It is a deal.
Yeah.
And my guys are like, well, if you sold it separately, it would be more money. I go, but that same person's not going to buy twice.
Yes.
They're buying once.
Yep. They're looking for that, right? So if you've got those two different things out there and you're saying these are both full price, they're going to buy one. But if you put them together, you bundle them together at a discounted rate, many people will say, oh, okay, that's not too bad, right? So always look at what you can bundle together because it's going to elevate that AOV.
We are on Indianapolis Boulevard in Hammond, Indiana, and Matt Hansen, of course, is a professor, and I'm just a business guy. But right down the street, if you happen to be watching it on video, you see a bunch of trucks and cars going by. But right down the street is one of the oldest McDonald's in the country, right by the highway there. And they closed it probably 20, 30 years ago. But I remember going in there as a kid, and that would have been in the 1970s with my grandfather. He lived right behind it, and he loved to take us there every Thursday. And I even remember this as a kid, is that you would do your order, and then the woman would say, hey, would you like some fries with that order? Would you also like an apple pie with that order? They didn't have small and large then. It was all one size. And I'll never forget that. And my grandfather would always comment on it. And then years later, in some sort of business class, he talked about Ray Kroc and the art of upselling.
Yep.
And it's pretty much everywhere now. But you got to concentrate. If they're already buying from you, why not give them an idea, right?
Right. Yeah. I love the Dunkin' Donuts over here because if you go over there and you order a coffee, they'll say, and do you want a donut? No, I'm good. Are you sure? Is how he responds every single time. And this is in the drive up. So it's funny because to me, you're having a conversation in the drive up as they're upselling you. Or you go buy a sandwich and like, and a coffee? No, I'm good. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. Right? So it's just a conversation that they're having, but it's the, are you sure?
It's rehearsed.
This is what most people do. Are you sure you don't want to be like most people? And, you don't feel pressured, but you kind of, well, maybe I do want a coffee, right? And then, every so often that ends up happening.
Works.
It works. So, yeah, when you look at the upsell, I think McDonald's made it famous with, do you want fries with that? Then we got to, do you want a drink with that? Every time you order food in a fast food restaurant at this point, now they're asking you, do you want a drink?
You can make it a meal.
Yeah, you can make it a meal.
You basically get your drink instead of buying it separately for $3. You might get it for $1.50.
Right. Well, we have this old story where my son was at a university in Michigan, and he was up there for some kind of event, and he went out to get a hamburger, and they kept asking him, "Do you want tomato on that?" He said, "Yes." "Do you want this on that? Do you want that on it?" By the time he got the burger, it was a $30-some burger because he had been upsold so many times on all the things you could put onto the burger. So we always joke with him. We're like, maybe understand what goes on in the burger to begin with, but he had this something like $34 burger at just a normal place, but they had upcharged him on all these other things. But
I buy Land's End jeans on a regular basis.
I used to be a client of mine, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
And you have to buy, I don't know if it's $50 or whatever, to get the free shipping. Mm-hmm. And the average, you could get a good pair of jeans on there for maybe $36 on kind of a sale or whatever. So maybe once every year or two, I want to buy a new pair of jeans because that's all I ever wear and it's worn out. But every time I'm looking at the free shipping, and I'm like, well, if I buy 2 pairs of jeans, I will get the free shipping. And I'm like, this is great. I mean, I get 2 pairs of jeans. I don't have to pay the shipping. But I I went in there to spend $36, and all of a sudden I'm spending $85, and that's how it is.
It's an old e-commerce trick. That's all it is. We always price the free shipping just above the average order value, just to make you go a little bit higher.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
mean,
we do.
and I'm perfect, and I'm okay with that because in the back of my mind, I wanted the dark wash and I wanted the lighter one, so I know that I'm like, there's a science to this, right? Exactly where they put the free shipping, and even, I mean, many people ship stuff anymore. You got to learn that. Put it right above the average order.
We had we need $9 more this morning. Literally having coffee with my wife this morning. She says, we need $9 more on this order. What else should I get? I said, what do you mean? And she goes, well, I can order this for $18. I said, so now we're spending $18 to get $9 off of shipping? And it's the conversation that we have over and over and over again. And some people will see that as a logical play. I see it as we're just spending another $18 instead of just $9 for shipping. It's fine. It's just funny how everyone sees things differently, but I've had that conversation about, I just need to spend $4 more. I just need to spend $2 more to get free shipping. I get it. I understand it. But it is definitely a tool that's out there. Put it just above your average order value, and people will see it, and they're like, oh, I only need to spend $10 more or whatever it may be, and it happens.
So Land's End on their website, it's very good. They have a lot of today-only deals. Mm-hmm. And I fall prey to that because, well, I'm going to need that cotton shirt eventually. I haven't worn out the 7 or 8. I kind of rotate. But they have them on sale, and they're saying it's only for today, and it's only $29. So now I've gone from $36. I already put the other pair of jeans in there, and then pops up at the end, hey, a today-only deal. I went in there to spend $36 on a pair of jeans. I come out with $125 every time.
Every time. Yeah, it's funny how that works.
Well, do today only deals. I mean, do people take that seriously?
Of course they do, right? So anything that's in writing,
that's a bad ask because obviously I do. Yeah.
You're a victim of it, right? But no, I mean, from a human psychology, if we see something in writing, we tend to believe it. It's just who we are. It's how we're built. So if you see something and it pops up today only, you're like, oh, I need to let me look through this and see if there's anything in here that I need. And we're talking a lot of online things today, but you can also do that in store. You could have a deal of the day kind of thing. So everyone that's walking through, maybe every day you change that deal of the day, or maybe you have the same deal of the day for an entire week. It's up to you. But as they're walking through, hey, did you see our deal of the day? It's a $7 whatever. And, maybe 1 out of 10 will take you up on that, or, 2 out of 10. But that's more than if you didn't have it there. So apply these little deals of the day and all these little tips and tricks. But, a few dollars here, a few dollars there turns into hundreds of dollars over time, if not thousands of dollars over time. So, apply these principles, and we're going through a bunch of different ones, but pick one that you think you can do. We're talking about Land's End, and Land's End is a huge company. I mean, they have their own campus and their own doctor and dentist, and so that'll tell you how big that company is. But we're talking about small, medium-sized companies. Do it on a much smaller level, right? You don't have to do it on these massive e-commerce platforms and all of that, but you can actually implement it in your physical location, or even if you're taking phone calls, you could implement it there and say, hey, we've got this one deal of the day that we'd like to share with everybody every single day. Here's today's deal. Can we add this to your order as well?
We sell a lot of ads, and we're putting our stuff together now for basically our fall sports season. And I've fallen in love with the bronze, silver, gold, good, better, best. Yep. I've seen those on plenty of websites, and my guys are like, "Man, you're giving the best away." The spot value on the good was $37.50, and by the time you get to best, it's only $24. Well, we can sell those at $37.50. I go, really? One more client and all the sales that goes into it and the hours I got to pay you and then the commission and this and that. I'm better off if that same person, instead of spending $1,500 a month, spends $3,000 a month, even though the spot price is $24.
Yeah.
And we go back and forth about it. What's your view on the kind of good, better, best thing?
I could go into 3 podcasts on this, describing each one of these levels, right? So good, better, best. When you set out and you find yourself, oh, I'm going to buy the good one. And then you start to read what comes in the better. You're just like, oh, do you ever notice that there's 1 or 2 items in the better that you want?
Oh,
But you're just like, I don't want to spend more for that, but fine, I'll get the better. And then you start to look at the best and you're like, ooh, I didn't realize it had those features as well. And you start to kind of go back and forth between better and best, right? But you can always, there's a million different ways to look at this. You can look at it and say, well, maybe you take the best and you take it to such a high price point that it's an anchoring thing at that point. So you're anchoring against, let's say you have this $50,000 package, and then your better is at $10,000 and your good is only at $2,500, right? People start to look at that and they're like, well, I'm not going to go with the best because I can't afford that, but that better looks really cheap compared to the best, so I'm going to take that instead of the good. It's all these psychological pricing models that we have, and so we can look at it in a variety of different ways, and again, I could talk about that for hours, but if you're doing a good, better, best, I always say elevate your good up a little bit higher than you think you're comfortable with. Get that price point up there a little bit higher. Move your better up a little bit, and then use your best as a price anchoring system to get them to that better outside of the good. I know we're jumping all over the place, but
price anchoring system. What the heck's that mean? I've never heard.
You never heard that? So if I told you, let's take it back to a car. Let's say you're going to go buy a car, and the good car is the base model. Let's say it costs $40,000, right? The better car has all the technology, bells and whistles that you're looking at, and that one's going to be $55,000. But then there's this V8 big engine, all kinds of bells and whistles, that's now a $100,000 car, right? You started at 40 and now you're looking at a $100,000 best. I'm probably not going all the way up there. But when I anchor that price to the better price, 55 to 100 is a huge jump, but that 40 to 55 is not a huge jump. So in my mind, I'm getting a better value on the better than I am for the good because I'm anchoring it to the next option. I'm looking at that going, well, I can get up to here, but I don't have to spend all of this money to get to the best.
So speaking of spending money, there are different ways to pay your bill.
Mm-hmm.
And, I always like, hey, you don't have to pay anything for a year, or you can't, it gives you a couple of choices. You can have interest, or, if you pay cash, you can get a discount. All these possible ways to pay. Should that be in the offer?
Yeah, there's flexible payment plans and things that you can do, and there's plenty of resources out there. So if you're sitting there like, listen, I don't want to be in banking here. I don't want to deal with credit and all this other stuff. There's actually companies that you can go out there and bring on that will take that on for you, right? So they take fees and whatever else. But, you can offer this, again, going back, you mentioned HVAC a lot. HVAC systems, you install that, they're pricey. I mean, they can go anywhere from $5,000 to $25,000 to even $250,000, depending upon what you're looking at in terms of residential versus commercial. But there's a lot of cost in that. So, maybe somebody doesn't have $10,000 sitting in the bank that they can put up for a new HVAC system. But if I said, well, you can pay on it for the next 5 years at this rate, or maybe, I'm working with some banks right now that are doing different financing deals where they give 0% for X number of months, and then it jumps to a different rate. Okay, well, if I can pay it off in the next 6 months, I deal with a lot of real estate people as well, and they need money to work on their deals. So I actually just had 2 days ago had a conversation about credit cards that people were using for flips that they were doing, right? So they had 6 months, 0%. They would do the flip and they'd be out of the house before they had to pay back the money that they used on the credit card. So there's all of these different ways that you can do it, but the payment plan helps ease the blow for something that's really big. I mean, it's the same thing when we talk about layaway plans when we get into the holidays and things like that. But we used to do a layaway plan at the home decor shop. So people would put stuff away and they'd come pay on it from July all the way until Christmas. And we had no problem with that. They'd get the merchandise after they paid it off, but some of them disappeared and just never came back for the merchandise and never, we kept the money because they never came back for it. So there's a variety of things that can happen with it, but offering that flexible payment, you'll see it a lot online at this point. Even things like eBay have flexible payment options at this point. So it's all over the place, but if you can offer it from a small and medium-sized business and your competitors aren't doing that, you're going to get a lot more customers coming your way.
As you know, Matt Hansen, I was once in the home decor business, so I don't even want to talk about this last one, but it has to be there for anybody in the home decor business. Gift wrap options,
Yep.
which I have never, ever once in my life taken advantage of or even thought about, but some have.
Oh, we used to do this all the time because people would come in and buy things during the holidays, right? We flipped over. Once it hit about September, the whole atmosphere in the shop started to turn. And what we did is we actually built a gift wrap center into the cashier area, right? So we would ring people out, but then they saw all the gift wrap there. And they would ask, oh, you guys do gift wrap? Yeah, we do for a fee. This is what we do. And we would show them the options. And we would wrap things all the time. And it was funny because they would buy something for somebody else. They could wrap it right there. And it was a quick upsell.
Did you?
I'm not a good rapper. So
there are people that are.
Yeah.
And, I mean, if I ever hand a gift wrapped item to somebody, it looks as if a child had done it. And if you do it again, it just gets worse.
Yeah.
So just give it to them the way it looks. But you go in this, there's a place right around the corner here, and I watched the woman wrap it, and I try to do the same thing. But it is an amazing skill.
Yeah.
It looks beautiful.
If you're not good at it, just go buy the gift bags and then some paper. You're
cheating.
Done. You're done.
Hey, he's Matt Hansen. 7 ways to upgrade your average order. This is Mastering Local Marketing Podcast. If you happen to be catching it somewhere else on radio or TV, please go to Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, and give us a like and subscribe to the podcast. And we'd love to have you because we're going to keep going.
Yeah. Sounds good. I mean, I promised you 100 this year. We're at, what are we at, 47?
And I was like, I don't know if I could do 100 of these, but hey, with you guys on board and more of you subscribing and listening and watching, we're going to keep going. So until next time, we'll see you later.